So what will I find when I arrive there?
Assassin's Creed Revelations is Ubisoft Everywhere's fourth game in the series, or the third if you didn't like the first one. First of all, if you haven't played the other three games in the series, you can just stop right here. This is not going to be your entry point into Assassin's Creed. It relies very heavily on the events of the other three games, and there's little to no recap of what's going on. After Ezio's adventure in the cinematic trailer, he learns that to get into Altair's library, he needs 5 keys which are hidden in Constantinople.
This door is guarding objects more valuable than all the gold in the world.
After arriving there, you meet a new cast of characters, including the leader of the local Assassin's Guild, who gives you the lay of the land. As you find each key, you'll relive one of Altair's memories as he sets up the modern Assassin's Guild. Altair's character has become much more relatable since the first game. You play him as he's rebuilding the Order of Assassins after the former leader was driven mad by the Apple of Eden. One of these memories is easily one of my favorite game experiences of the year. Istanbul/Constantinople/10 other names that they call it is really a great setting for this game. You're finally in a city that isn't controlled completely by Templars, so you don't have guards breathing down your neck all the time. The Ottomans who run the city hate the Byzantine Templars as much as you, so if you stay on their good side, you can lure any Templars you meet into a fight that they can't win. As for Desmond, he stays in the Animus for this game, and you don't play as him for any of the main story. There is side content which explores his backstory through 5 very simplified first-person puzzle platforming segments. They're not challenging, but I felt they were an interesting addition to cutscenes while still letting Desmond tell his story. The ending of the game does a beautiful job of wrapping up Ezio and Altair's stories and sets up Desmond for the next game. As far as combat, it's just as fun as ever, with a lot of new additions. When you first get to Constantinople, you get a hook blade which allows you to use zip lines and climb faster. You can also use it to quickly get past guards who are blocking your path. You'll also learn the art of bomb crafting, which opens up a lot of strategic possibilities. For example, the caltrop bomb, which you can throw at guards and it either stops them from pursuing you or leaves them vulnerable to attacks. Revelations expands on the ideas in Brotherhood, recruiting assassins, reclaiming areas of the city from the Templars, and renovating shops. As you go about your missions in the city, your notoriety, which is now called Templar Awareness, will slowly go up. When it gets to 100%, you'll have to be careful because the Templars will attack one of your newly reclaimed dens. To defend them, you're going to have to do a minigame called Den Defense, which is a tower defense game. And honestly, it's this game's weak point. If you're familiar with tower defense games, you'll notice this one is not very well designed. However, you're only forced to play it one time. If you're like me and you didn't enjoy it, you can just play stealthy while your awareness is high. And make sure you pay off the bribes and make that awareness go down, because they'll only attack your dens if you do public assassinations while your Templar awareness is at 100%. Or if you're a more aggressive player, you can just let them reclaim the dens and then take them back again. And all of that is if you even want to take over dens in the first place. If you really want to get into Ezio's head and focus on finding the library keys and get into that part of the story, you don't have to take them over at all. So considering all the ways to avoid den defense, I don't count it too heavily against the overall game. Alright, so finally, multiplayer. Revelations expanded on Brotherhood here as well. There's new maps, new modes, new abilities. I had a hard time finding matches in the new team modes because it seems like everyone's more interested in playing the free-for-all game types. And that's understandable because that's where this game really shines. Games like Escort and Capture the Flag suffer from the same problem that you see in Battlefield and Modern Warfare, where people are more focused on leveling up their character and they can get more points by just running around and shooting people instead of playing as a team. And that's understandable too, because where this game really shines is in game modes like Corruption, where 2 players go in as the corrupted and they have to assassinate players one by one until there's only 1 player left being hunted by the remaining 7 players. The adrenaline rush that you get while standing still in a crowd knowing 7 people are hunting you, and if you make a sudden move they'll see you, is a multiplayer experience that you cannot get anywhere else right now. So for wrapping up Ezio and Altair's story so well, continuing to try new things, providing a variety of gameplay options, and having a very unique multiplayer experience, I give Assassin's Creed Revelations a 4.5 out of 5.
To judge a lady's character, note well her company. If you should wish to seem a sage, come spend the night with me.